are you in coaching?
Yeah, so I'm in coaching, and my coach is helping with that too as well. And we were just at this retreat last week, and it was more of just providing value to our clients. I think that's the biggest thing. And another takeaway was like the accumulation effect, which has helped me with the database. Even if I just touch base with them and say, hey, this is where the stats are, this is where homes are selling, your neighborhood is doing fantastic. Let me know if you need any service providers or things like that. Then they're just happy to hear that. And even if it's a conversation like that first, and then I have a, hey, who else do you know looking to move or buy or sell real estate? I'm happy if they just call me and say, hey, who do you have as a plumber? Who do you have as a handyman?
Hi, I'm Noel with today's Brew, where top producing real estate agents share their tips and tricks on taking more listings, making more money, and having fun doing it. On today's episode, we welcome Pierce Buckingham from Aiken, South Carolina. Hi, Pierce.
Hey, Noel.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I am well. Thank you for coming on today. Can you tell us a little bit about Aiken, South Carolina, for people that aren't too familiar?
Yeah, right. It's in the west coast or the west side of South Carolina. We're closer to the Savannah River and Augusta, Georgia. So you hear the Masters golf tournament. That's where we are. It's a town of only like 35,000 people, 100,000 in the county. So it's like 135,000 total. It's a big retirement community. We have a lot of horses, a lot of golf, pickleball, communities like that. And then just a bunch of small business owners that kind of like a small town way.
Oh, it sounds great. Pickleball, horseback riding. What's
Yeah.
up?
I know.
Um,
Very active.
so my question for you then is, what's the market like down there? What are the listings looking like current listings available? And
Yeah, it just depends on the area. There's some tighter areas downtown and some more desirable neighborhoods that the inventory is really low, and
Mhm.
people are, you're still knocking on doors or cold calling people saying, "Hey, are you ready to move? Where are you looking?" Things like that. And then we have a good bit of new construction coming up.
Okay.
So there is some growth. It's just taking a little time for that. And but yeah, there are opportunities around for sure. So
Yeah, yeah. No, that sounds
good.
lovely.
Yeah,
So let's talk a little bit about you. When did you get into real estate?
yeah. So I got into real estate professionally in 2016. Started selling full time. Just it was the end of 2016 to 2017, and have been with in coaching. And my dad sells real estate. I grew up with him selling in Richmond, Virginia, and he
Mhm.
still sells to this day. So we talk a lot more now than did before. But
Well, it's a great
it's good.
accountability partner,
I
right?
know exactly. I'm trying to keep up with him. So
Yeah, well, yeah, we interviewed him here before, so we're a little
yeah, great.
familiar with his 47 years. So
Yeah,
you've got some big shoes to fill.
yeah, exactly. So I'm still swimming in those shoes, but we can keep up.
So what is your goal this year for transactions?
Yeah. So the transaction goal is 40.
Hmm,
We're on track for 40. Just got to keep pressing a little bit.
okay.
But right now we have, let's see, 15 closed and 8 pending.
Ooh,
Yeah. So did a little press, and now you're looking at the, you have like 2 90-day cycles left. So
okay.
yeah.
Okay, so are you working mostly with listings or buyers?
Right now it's mainly listings, and I've cut my buyers down back, a good bit, but I'm still year to date like 50-50 on listings and buyers. It just seems to work out that way. And a handful of those buyers now are coming off of those listings, so I'm double ending more,
Yeah.
which is yeah, it's nice. I like
Of
that.
course it is. Of course it is. So when you refer out your buyers, are you on a team? Are you referring them to somebody that you work with?
Yeah, so I have agents in the office, and I'll just refer them to them.
Okay.
Uh, but I will keep the buyers that are like sellers that have to buy, or referrals from great past clients, or they are past clients. So like
Okay.
those are the three, kind of criteria for me to work with them.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about your prospecting schedule. How are you finding these listings? What are you doing every day?
Yeah, so I'll get in this office early in the morning and go through the sheets probably around 7:30 before 8 o'clock, and and then I'll just call. We fortunately we have enough expireds that come on and for sale by owners that come on, and
Mhm.
then I've had good success with just listed, just sold.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was just a new thing that kind of came up that I've added because there wasn't very many expireds in the market,
Mhm. Mhm.
and just listed, just sold, and then just the handful of database people that I have been calling. I do need to do a better job of talking to my database, but
That was going to be one of my questions. So you kind of just fast forwarded to that. How do you keep in touch with your database with in a meaningful way, and how often are you speaking with them, or
yeah,
should you be speaking with them?
well, so I'll kind of switch it up. Like I have an A list database, and
Hmm.
I will definitely talk to them at least every 60 days. And they're people who have referred business to me before. I personally enjoy talking to, and do that. But the other, I haven't been the best about keeping up with people after the transaction. Of like, I'll do it after for like the first 30 days, but
Hmm.
then I just kind of forget and time goes on. So,
Yeah, I hear you. So, like the first 30 days, you'll just follow up and say, "How's your house? How are things going?
yeah,
How was the move?" And
yeah,
then we forget about them. So, how can we be
yeah.
better at that? What can we do? Are
Well,
you in coaching?
yeah. So I'm in coaching, and my coach is helping with that too as well. And we were just at this retreat, last week, and it was more of just providing value to our clients. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. And another takeaway was like the accumulation effect, which has helped me with the database of
Mhm.
just like, even if I just touch base with them and say, hey, this is where the stats are. This is, where homes are selling. Your neighborhood is doing fantastic. Let me know if you need any service providers or things like that. Then they're just happy to hear that. And even if it's a conversation like that first, and then I have hey, who else do you know looking to move or buy or sell real estate?
Yeah.
Um, comes later. I'm happy if they just call me and say, hey, who do you have as a plumber? Who do you have as a handyman?
Yeah, I still get those. I get those calls sometimes like at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But I'll take them because you
Right.
want to think of you first.
Well, exactly. And my coach said, he goes, I used to get mad at them, he said, and he's like, but then you're their real estate source. So if
Mhm.
it's regarding the home, then you shouldn't be upset if they call you about a plumber or handyman or concrete guy or, who does back pavers and, things like that.
Yeah, no, and it's good to have all those answers. So you've mentioned coaching a few times. When did you get into coaching?
Yeah. So I was fortunate. I got in right away.
Okay.
If I didn't really have an option since my dad has been in coaching for years, and that kind of, I grew up with like the reason I have what I have, or went to the schools I did to, was because he sold real estate and he had coaching. So he was like, all right, if you're thinking about getting into real estate, come to this seminar. If you like what they have to say, then we'll get you get a coach, and then you do it. If not, then don't worry about real estate. Okay.
But that is really good advice because the same advice was given to me as well when I got in. I had my mentor who now is my mentor, but previously was like, I heard you got into real estate. If you're going to do this, this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be out of the business in 1 year.
Right. And
Because the failure rate is crazy.
yeah, I mean, it's like look left, look right, and only one of you all are going to be there in 3 years. You
No,
know, so,
absolutely. You're 100% right. It's scary, but
yeah,
you're doing the right thing, and I'm still here hanging on. So
yeah,
I
you're
must
doing
be
it
doing
too.
the thing too.
Yeah, you're doing the right thing
So
too.
let's talk about the distractions, like daily distractions that might have other agents and maybe sometimes ourselves on the wrong path. How do we beat those?
Yeah, I think it's just minimize them. I've kind of thought like distractions are going to come up no matter what. Like I spent a while trying to eliminate everyone and getting frustrated when they came up, and then I had more of a realization of just like minimizing the time that they are a distraction, and eliminate what you can. But at the end of the day, there's still going to be distractions that come up,
Mhm.
and whether we like it or not, it's just that's what happens.
So what is your prospecting schedule though? Are you 5 days a week? How many hours?
Yes, I need to get back to 5 days a week. I'm more three, uh,
Mhm.
and it would be 2 hours, and calling. I like to call expireds and for sale by owners first,
Okay.
and catch them before they go to work,
Yeah.
or with withdrawn and cancels. So
What
get all.
happens if you get somebody really angry though that you're calling them before work and they're trying to get out the door? How do you deal with a negative reaction?
Yeah, well, I'll just say, oh well, it seems like I caught you in the middle of getting out of the house. I'll give you a call back later this afternoon. And they'll be like, I don't want to talk to you, da da da. Or you say, okay, well, great, I'll let you go, and then I'll give them a call. And it's amazing what a couple hours will do. And you give them a call in the
Mhm.
afternoon, and they don't remember you. Most.
Okay, so but would you follow up with them another day?
Yeah, like the next day.
For newer agents getting into the business, what is some advice that you would give to them?
Well, I think the coaching is huge, and get into a program that is, that works well, is proven, and you have some guidance, because there's so many things that just, get coming at you, like do this, do that, do this, do that. And as a new agent, it was actually really easy. Just say, pick one thing and do it, and I'm sure
Yeah,
you.
you're right. You get a lot of unsolicited advice in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
Having
Yeah.
a coach you were very fortunate, and myself as well, to have a coach right away,
Right.
because you go to real estate school. But now what? Now what do I do?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everyone thinks, oh, this is going to be glamorous. And I know so many people. Well, all these people we know, they all know like 5 other agents too, if not more.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so, what are we going to do to set ourselves apart? Um,
Exactly, which would be prospecting,
yeah,
right?
right. And knowing what to say.
Mhm.
That was another thing for me that was big. And for new agents, I would recommend is just having someone help you, like, know what to say in conversation situations. Like, my previous job was nothing to do with real estate. So, I was not good about asking people about their home, when they intended to move, where they were going, how soon they wanted to get there, just simple questions like that.
Mhm.
Uh,
When you first get the scripts from your coach, what did you think? Did you think what I thought, which was, who asked these questions? These are a lot of questions. Like, what is someone going to say when I started asking and prying? And did
yeah.
you have similar thoughts?
Yeah, I thought they were prying. I thought they were more prying, and that people didn't really ask these questions.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no
Mm-hmm.
one really asked this, and especially like for sale by owners and stuff too. Um, but then it was more of a switch, and even with the other people too, it was more of a switch of like, well, if they can't answer the questions, then I probably don't want to work with them,
Yep.
and they probably don't want to do it. So it like eliminates them for me, and
Mm-hmm.
then you start getting excited when they start answering questions, and then they keep on answering questions. And like in my brain, I'm like smiling. I'm like, "Ooh, this is good." Oh yeah,
This works. This
yeah,
works.
yeah. Like they actually want help. Like I kind
Yeah.
of, yeah. I mean, I kind of think of it as like either want to have a piece of pizza or you don't want to have a piece of pizza. Uh, like I'm not
Who
going to
doesn't
make you
want a
have
piece of pizza, Pierce?
yeah, I'm not going to make you have a piece of pizza if you don't want to have a piece of pizza. But if you want to have a nice piece of pizza and somebody make a great pizza pie for you, then you can talk to me. But
Oh, well, that's a great way to say it, because who doesn't want that?
yeah,
And you're right. When you look at them at first, it does seem a little crazy, like we said. And then the more you think about it, the more willing they are to answer the questions. You do realize that they are qualified to have your time to come
right,
out and meet with them. Kind of similar to how I thought about it in the beginning was, when I would work with buyers and people would be like, well, you need to make sure that they're pre-approved. And I was like, well, that kind of seems rude. Like, well, I don't want to like ask them that. And no, then really quickly you're like, oh, no, no, no. Like if they're not, it's not even the point of it other than the fact, like if they're not willing to follow the steps to buy the house, like before
right,
you even go look at a house, like if they're not willing to work with you and do the things that you ask of them, then they're not qualified
right,
as well as sellers. So if they're not
yeah,
willing to answer the questions, that we need to know, then move on to the next, I guess, right?
Yeah, and it's a bit more relieving. Like I think I spent more time as a newer agent of like trying to force stuff, and
Mhm.
then instead of just being like, well, if they can't do it and don't want to do it, then it's only going to hurt us down the line when the seller's going to ask, and they're going to be like, hey, can you have proof of funds? And they're going to be like squandering around, and like and then it puts us on the line. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly, exactly. Well, Pierce, it was a pleasure having you on today. Can you tell everyone how we can send you business and send you referrals?
Yeah, great. My email address is piercebuckingham@gmail.com. Pretty simple, just first name, last name. And then do you want my telephone number or?
Sure, if you want to give it out.
So it's 803-507-6329. And those are the main ways. And I'm in Aiken, South Carolina with Remax Tattersall Group.
Awesome. Thanks so much again for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, Noel. Thanks for having me.